Good morning, lovely healing friends. And I don't know why it's doing this, but it seems to be doing this. So I'm just gonna do this for a little bit. I've never had my glasses actually have lights running across the top of them like little trains. And oh, it's Steve. I'm Steve, and today this video we're gonna do a healing session, another healing session. There's a lot of healing sessions going on right now, and there's a need for them, but I just like those little trains going along the track. Anyway, it'll be distracting. I might have to take them off at some point. So let's just go through the basics. Just state out loud. I connect to the healing field. I connect to my deep self. I connect to Bastet. You don't have to say that, but she's a healing cat, and she's pretty amazing. She's my stepdaughter's cat. Okay. I connect to my higher self. Oh, I know what happened. I went downstairs to look for some homeopathic remedies, and my wife had these glasses sitting on her little homeopathic remedy container, antique furniture, and I put them on. That's why I've never seen them before, because they're not mine, and they have a metal edge on the top. So I'm going to take those off and make sure I put them back. And I'm taking 3 different remedies. There you go. Now I don't see the trains going back and forth, although I like the trains. I'm taking 3 different remedies. I can't remember what they are. I tested for them. And they have to do with detoxing. And one is gelsemium. But they have to do with flu-like symptoms. So just let me finish the healing field. Let me get focused. Okay. So I ground myself into the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. I release anything that's not in my highest good. Like all this pain and suffering and all that stuff. Maybe I just can release just pain and suffering today. I connect to the Hathors. I'm going to say this for my friend. The Hathors of love and light. That's what she always says. I connect to the Hathors of love and light. Okay. I ask, and that's everything, I ask that we be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good to release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that they be placed in a field of protection while they do their work. And upon our arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. Okay, there's the healing aspect of the healing field. And now we're going to do the Mayan calendar reading. On this day, it was a very significant day, this day, January 11th, in 1982, when my first child was born on this day. And I was talking to a young woman. She is 39. And she has a 5-year-old who likes ballet. But she's California, another California woman. And we were talking about California. They've not been on there. She and her husband and daughter have not been on the island for long. But it was amazing to me. I remember what I was going to say is I said to her, well, it seems to me that giving birth to a child just doesn't seem that hard. Of course, I've never done it. and I don't know any man who ever has given birth to a child. I don't know any man that could do it. I just think, men, they all you need to do as a man to just crumble is just fall off your bicycle seat. And as a man, that's as much pain as you can possibly take. And women give birth. In the case of my child, the labor was 32 hours. And it was in a condominium. So it was a condo birth. Because we're both alternative healthcare people and really wanted to do it naturally, so we didn't want to do it in a hospital. We had a midwife and a midwife's assistant. And it was a long labor. Much longer for the women. Because they were just in such resonance with each other. And I was a healthcare person, so I ended up being useful when, my children's mom needed to be turned over. I was able to just do it. But it was a difficult birth. It was a traumatic birth. Shoulder dystocia. The arm was locked behind the back, so you couldn't get the shoulder forward to get the body small enough to pass through the canal. So a whole bunch of things had to be done to get her out, which were done under a lot of fear, but she was brought out. And because it was somewhat physically traumatic to her mom, they just handed her to me and had to do some things to help the mom. So this being, when she came out, I swear I had this thought that this little head came out, but at first it was just a little head. And the little head came out and had a full head of hair and seemed completely conscious and just started looking around while it was still coming out. And I swear I received a telepathic thought from that little being. Who thinks they're in charge here? I have voices in my head, and that was one. Who thinks they're in charge here? And I looked and I go, oh my goodness, are we in trouble? Who is this being? This big being in this little body. And so we were able to get her out. The midwife and I she said, do this, do this, do this, do this. I did it, she did it, I did it, and whoop, we got her out. And then she just handed her over to me because there were things that needed to be done. And so I held her in my hands and looked into her eyes, and a beam of light passed through us, passed between us. Just a beam of light just went between us, like this. And I said, I think that's bonding. And it was a good thing that we bonded, and it's a good thing that a person feels like their child is the most important child in the universe. I think it's good that a parent feels that, because if they didn't feel like their child was the most important being in the universe, then they couldn't keep up with all the things that there are to do for that being. And today is that being's birthday, and for those of you who are into the 1111, and I was aware of the awakening properties of when the numbers 1111 show up on a digital clock in 1980, I was aware of those numbers and that they were numbers to help us awaken. And I recognized that I was giving birth. I didn't give birth. So let's just be real clear about this. I realized that my partner was giving birth to a being on 1-1-1-982. First four numbers of this being's birth date were 1111, and then 982. But the 982, it's just like, it's just over there. The 1111 meant to me that my partner was giving birth to an awakened one. And she was. She is. She's a world changer. She's a red Skywalker. I had a friend, he passed away not long ago, who was an amazing chiropractor who injured his back taking care of too many people. And so he devoted his life to make sure that chiropractors were strong enough to take care of too many people. His name was Arnaud Bernier, beautiful human being, was from France, had lived in the United States for, I think at the time, probably 30, 40 years, and couldn't speak English. Went to school, got his degree, got his license to practice chiropractic. Practiced chiropractic for 30 years probably at the time, that I worked with him, 30 years probably. And he was the most intense person that I had ever met, besides my daughter Claire, who was definitely the most intense person I had ever met. She's got a lovely husband, and she's brought all those forces together and aligned them, and is just doing amazing things in the world. But as a child, she was just intimidating. That's all I can say. but for her high school graduation present, I gave her an adventure course in Colorado with Arnaud Bernier, where people rappelled off of mountains and just did all sorts of crazy things, and just it was an awakening course run by Arnaud. And Arnaud said to me, I used to help teach the courses, and Arnaud said to me, he said, I see that you brought your daughter with you. And I said, yeah, this is her high school graduation present. And he said, it will be good for her. And I said, yeah, I felt that too. And I said, you know, she's, you know, you're one of the most intense people I've ever known. And I said, my daughter's the only person I know who's more intense than you. And he said, no one is more intense than me. Well, you're going to get to meet my daughter. And at the end of, I think it was a 6-day process of hanging off cliffs and rappelling and doing all these kind of bring your fear up, let it go kind of adventure things. And we were all closing up shop. It was in Durango, Colorado, on a golf resort. But we were doing lifestyle changing processes with chiropractors and their clients. And as I was leaving, and Arnaud waved me over, I came over and said goodbye to he and his wife, Jane. And Arnaud looked at me and he goes, you were right. And I said, what was I right about? He goes, your daughter. She is more intense than I am. I said, I know. I told you. That's who I gave birth to. This is a person who runs a healing facility in Huntington Beach, California. And she has her doctorate in physical therapy. She has her postdoctorate in neurology, where she studied a process to retrain Parkinson patients' brains so they could learn to walk more normally again and stop running into things and stop falling down as often. The year of postdoctoral research that she did proved that what her faculty advisor believed was true, that they could change the mobility of Parkinson patients. My daughter's research proved that that could be done. They formed a course and they began teaching the process all over the world. That's my girl, woman, marathon runner, who now has a facility in Huntington Beach, California, a course called Rogue. Rogue Physical Therapy. I think there's now 6 practitioners in the building doing all sorts of things to aid people in their diet, changing their diet. They're all vegans. I don't know if everybody there is vegans, but the whole program is based on veganism. You know, it's perceived to be healthier, and for a variety of reasons. But my own reason would be that in many animal products are antibiotics, vaccines, growth hormones. Yeah. Unless it's grass-fed, no hormones, no chemicals, no antibiotics. It's not for me. So I understand. There's a lot of chemicals that come in our food, but there's a lot of chemicals that come in grains. I mean, they spray grains with Roundup. It causes intestines, stomachs to explode. What do you think it does when it goes in your intestines? Yeah. Okay. So clear that one. So I want to just celebrate with you, my virtual friends. I mean, I feel very friendly with you virtually, but on energy levels as well. I want to share with you my deep love for getting to house a being of such power and to, for the most part, take a hands-off approach. Because as I told her mom when she was maybe 5, I said, you know, the best way to raise this child is to not get in her way, because she's just going to run over us. And we got out of her way. She just took off. It was like she was a horseback rider, soccer player. Her high school coach. So she made the varsity team as a freshman. It just didn't typically happen. You had to play on the freshman team and then move up and then get on varsity. And she made varsity her first year, her freshman year. She made varsity, and her coach came up to me and he said, you know, I just wanted to let you know why I brought Claire onto this team. I said, yeah, that'd be interesting for me. He said, she's a little rough in her play. She could use some coaching, but she has an indomitable spirit, and you can't teach that. She just has it. She's going to be so fun to just help mold a little bit. And basically, he could have just said, she's one of the most intense people I ever met. Because she just was. She was good-hearted and just so close with her friends and defend her friends and defend everyone around her. As a 9th grader in high school, I heard this story. As a 9th grader in high school, she went to 8 years of Waldorf school, Rudolf Steiner school, just like with all sorts of cultures and religions, and they celebrated all the religions and all the cultures, and there's just this whole kind of better than kumbaya, but a bit of kumbaya feeling. And so she went from that to public high school in kind of a farm area, Dexter, Michigan. So in 9th grade, she heard someone use the N-word, racially questionable term. She walked up to the person. He was a senior football player, and she was 5 foot tall, 5'2", maybe at the time. And she walked up to him and she said, don't ever use that term again, because if you do, I'll have to kick your ass. And he backed, I heard the story. He backed away and he said, got it. Thank you. That was it. Football player. 5'2", maybe weighed 115 pounds at the time. She was just going to go at it, you know. If you ever use that term again, I'm going to have to kick your ass. I'm a pacifist. I didn't like getting hit. I avoided fights. I avoided rock fights. I avoided anything that could cause bodily harm. I just avoided it. But I've been around people that are just like, just have such integrity. And just such like, no, you're not going to say that around me and think you can get away with it. Whew. That's my girl. Today's her birthday. And today is the second day of the 7th month of the 13 months. This is the month of the resonant moon of attunement, of being in energetic relationship with each other. This month is about channeling, inspiring, and attunement. There's a quote from Sri Awen: inspiration is always available and accessible to all. It is an infinite energy. Inspiration is an infinite energy that springs from the source of being, from the divinity that we are. Today is a yellow rhythmic star day, and it's guided by elegance. My daughter is elegant. The rhythmic tone is tone 6, and the body is just an ongoing rhythm, and all the parts are playing together synchronously, and when energy gets stopped, the body doesn't like it, and it tries to get it moving again. Tone 6 is about organizing, balancing, and equality. Equality. Don't use that term again. And I heard she said this, or I'll have to kick your ass, Mr. Big Football Player. I don't know how many marathons this young woman has run. I'm guessing 8 now. I'm guessing she'll stop at 11, because that's her number, 11. And on the soccer team, she was 22, because she wanted to be 11-11. So Hazrat Inayat Khan said, music is behind life and rules life. From music springs all life. The whole creation exists in rhythm. And in a general phrase, it may be said that there is one common source of human disease, and that is disorder in rhythm. All life on earth, including the rhythms of our body, are influenced by the rhythms of ever-changing combinations of celestial movements. A sense of balance can be achieved by accepting that life is a process, an ongoing motion requiring dynamic organization and reorganization, a sacred juggling act. When we organize the elements of our life, we invite efficiency and functionality into our reality. Organization assists us to streamline and coordinate, producing greater ease and equilibrium. Today is a yellow star day, and the yellow star is about beautifying, elegance, and art. It's related to the solar plexus. And this person, Meshu Suma, said, "May we develop our awareness of the countless beautiful things in everyday life for every phase of beauty contributes to the expansion of spiritual upliftment and understanding. Yellow star is an agent of harmony, keeper of the octave, a way shower, a star seed, a messenger declaring art as creator's omnipresent gift. Art is how we greet the day, how we respond and interact to the elements in our lives. As a dimension of being and acting, art exists as a universal opportunity for creativity, innovation, and expression, each of us adding to this blank canvas of the moment. Just had this wave of emotion, and I just let that wave pass. Art, like the realm Art opens up the language of the soul, transparently revealing our divine essence. Art, like the realm of beauty, is naturally occurring, enhanced with intention, is unlimited in its appearances and manifestations, transcends definition, and is measurable by feelings and insight it provokes. In essence, art, beauty, and elegance are vibrational emanations produced by beneficial combinations emerging from mindful synthesis. Yellow star transmits information coming in from the yellow star. Delight in the beauty of your expression. Born emotions, waves of emotions, letting them move. Explore your creative tendencies. Allow the aesthetics of nature to inspire your inner artistic sight and sense. Wield the radiance of the star and light up your outer world from within. Allow grace and harmony to guide your path. Nothing you do is outside the art of your life. And Chamalu said, when we contemplate life through the eyes of purity, everywhere we look, we see beauty. Let the emotions be gentle. Let they be waves upon your shore. I had the opportunity just yesterday to work with a client who was releasing that anger energy from deep within. And I was guided in holding the space as the energy moved. And I was told repeatedly by her guides. So when I work with a client, I work with their guides, and they advise me what I'm to do in assisting them. And they told me, do not attempt at any time to try to make her feel better. Let her feel. And they repeated it over and over and over again. So all I did was hold space for that energy as it came out. And it changed me. Sure, it changed her. That's her experience. But it changed me. Being able to hold the space of anger, which was such a fearful emotion for me as a child, because typically when I felt anger, I got hit. So I associated anger with violence. And now I associate anger with power. And I don't mean power over people, but the emergence of anger in ourself indicates the release of the trauma that was the things that were done to us to attempt to force us to hold back our power. Our power is our life force. Let it out. Be kind as you do it. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. But let that power up, because it comes right from the sacrum, comes right from the earth, comes right through the feet, right through the sacrum, right into the fifth lumbar, and then it just goes up the spine, the kundalini, power energy through the spine that opens up in the crown and just goes out. That you probably felt that. That power of the earth. So realize that we are transmitters. That in the Mayan language, the word for human being was Winklil, and it translated as cosmic vibratory root. So if you think of a plant, let's just say a tree, and a tree has a trunk, and it has branches, and it has leaves, and it has roots. And not only does that tree receive energy and bring it into the earth, but it takes nutrients and energy and brings them out to the sky. Trees actually radiate light. And we are a human tree. We are Winklil. We are divine or cosmic vibratory roots. And we bring energy from the earth. It's the power of this body. This body is powered by this earth power that when suppressed we call anger. But when expressed we call nature. This is your birthright. There may be forces that are afraid of people of power. Let them be afraid. My daughter is not afraid. She's not afraid to just go. Don't use that word again in my presence, ever. Okay? What a gift to the world. What a gift to the world you are. Emotional energy moving. It's just a vibration. What a gift to the world you are. What a gift you are from me. That energy that goes out from me comes back from you. And we are just linking up in this field of energy that is humanity, that forces have attempted to divide us, and we just don't want to live that way anymore. We want to live connected. We want to live in attunement. This is the month of attunement. We want to be aware of our oneness. We want to be aware of how much we care about each other. Okay, thanks for participating in this healing work. And now I'm going to say these words. I ask the higher self to support all the souls that are at the event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into their body It's all of its wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, creativity, and kindness. And ground yourself in the healing center of the earth. Open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies into the earth at this time. And I would ask that those new energies be brought in through the cosmic vibratory root that you are and that I am. That's power. It's not the power over, it's the power in. The power in unity, power in oneness, the power of kindness, the power of compassion, the power of love, the power of peace. And we activate this energy in the earth, and we let the universe and beyond know that it's been done and that it's good, and it's pleasure. To share hearts with you. Let's go. Keep it up. We're getting very close to that goal that we set so long ago.